Damn it, guys, I'm happy to be back, man. For the past few days, I've been battling this terrible flu. My chest and my throat, man, it was a mess. I felt like I was gonna die. And I know a lot of stuff has happened since I was away. This is the reason why I'm going to do a bit of recap, man, and I'm going to start with the EFF and Busisiwe Mkhwebane. For the past few days, I was online and I saw people upset about the fact that Busisiwe Mkhwebane became the member of parliament in the EFF within 5 days. She joined the EFF on Monday, and on Friday she was sworn in as a member of parliament. And I'm sitting like, guys, how is this okay? Because you have to understand, when something like this happens, someone within the EFF has to step aside so that Busisiwe Mkhwebane can come and fill the position within the parliament. So Busisiwe Mkhwebane joined the EFF on Monday. On Friday, she was a member of parliament. And you have EFF supporters telling you that it is okay, she's a fighter, and all this nonsense. And I'm like, guys, this is the reason why I will never join politics, man. I will never join politics. Because it doesn't matter how hard you work. When someone like Busisiwe Mkhwebane comes through, you're going to have to make way. Even when, like, guys, I'm talking to the EFF supporters right now. If you're an EFF supporter right now, or you are a ground force of the economic freedom fighters, and you are working hard so that you can, you can elevate within the party and eventually go to the parliament, you can easily be replaced when someone like Mkhwebane comes through. I was laughing because I saw people being upset about this move of Mkhwebane being the member of parliament within the EFF within 5 days. Man, clearly people are not paying attention. Because people, if they were paying attention, they would understand that this is the same thing that happened with Mzwanele Manyi. Mzwanele Manyi was there in the ATM, and he joined the EFF, and before you even know it, this guy was a member of parliament. And while these high profile quote unquote guys continue to join the EFF, the average guys are being requested to step aside to make way for these guys. And I'm like, this is the reason why I will never join politics. Because clearly it doesn't matter how hard you work. People like Mkhwebane are there to replace you at any given time. And EFF supporters are okay with this. And you have people trying to convince us that the EFF is different from the ANC. Man, the EFF is no different from the ANC. They are doing the same thing in the ANC. They are prioritizing the cadres. This is what they are going to do when they come when they come in governance. This is exactly what they are going to do. They don't care about the fact that you've been with the party for the past 10 years. They don't care. They don't care that you've been working and knocking on people's doors for 10 years. You become the member of parliament, and someone like I'm trying to think of a name, man. Someone like Melusi Gigaba decides to join the EFF. Before you know it, you're going to be told to step aside so that Melusi Gigaba can become the member of parliament. Guys, how is this okay, man? How is it okay? These guys are the same, man, with the ANC. They're the same. They are no different. They are the same. And it's funny now, Busisiwe Mkhwebane is calling herself the fighter. Fighter Busisiwe Mkhwebane. She's fighting for people's rights now. Busisiwe Mkhwebane is fighting for people's rights. Now that she joined the EFF, man, she forgot that she was fighting the president for years. Because you remember that Ramaphosa never liked Mkhwebane. So Mkhwebane was fighting Ramaphosa for years so that Ramaphosa cannot kick her out of the EFF. And now that she's a member of the EFF, she's going around telling the people that the ANC is the worst thing to ever happen to South Africa. This is what she said yesterday on her maiden speech in Parliament. She told the people how bad the ANC is. And I was sitting and laughing at the same time like, man, you were fighting Ramaphosa so that you can continue working for the ANC government. Now that you are out of the ANC government, you are telling the people that the ANC government is bad. So it's okay when you are benefiting from the ANC government. As soon as the benefits stop, the ANC is the worst thing to ever happen. Guys, stop joining the political parties, man. Do not join the political parties. These guys are the same. They are going to replace you, man, when one of their friends comes And for people to think that this is okay, man, it is not okay, because I know that a lot of people, man, have been working hard for the EFF. Clearly, some of these guys who are working so hard for the EFF will never make it to Parliament. They will never. And what's going to happen with those guys that are being told to step aside so that the likes of Mzwanele Manyi and the likes of Busisiwe Mkhwebane can come into play? What's going to happen with their lives?
Thank you, Chairperson CIC Malema, Chief Whip of the EFF, Chairperson of the EFF. We take this opportunity to reiterate the condemnation of the genocidal violence that is being meted out by apartheid Israel over the...
You know, these guys are so concerned about what's happening in Israel and Palestine. They don't care about what's happening in South Africa. I mean, what did the EFF say about the fact that right now we have lost, I think, over 5 children after consuming this food that comes from the Pakistani shops? They haven't said anything about that. But they are there telling us about the Israel and Palestine. And guys, at some point we really have to be honest, man. What's happening in Israel and Palestine has nothing to do with us. We have enough problems in South Africa. For these guys to come and tell us about Israel and Palestine every single chance they get, it's nonsensical. We have so many problems in South Africa, man. You know, yesterday I saw something when Malema said that people must go and boycott Woolworths and boycott, I think it's McDonald's, for the Israeli products they have. Malema is telling his followers to boycott Woolworths and to boycott McDonald's. He doesn't care about the fact that most of the people who are working there at Woolworths are black people. He doesn't care about the fact that most of the people who are working at McDonald's are black people. So if this boycott of his happens, black people are the ones who are going to feel the pain. He doesn't care about that. It's always about politics with these guys. How can you tell the people to go and boycott Woolworths and McDonald's, knowing very well that Woolworths and McDonald's are employing a lot of their workers are black people? So if you are telling people to boycott these shops, are you going to employ those people? These are the questions that the EFF supporters are not asking their leaders. Because the moment when someone says we need to boycott, we need to protest and do this and that, I'm like, guys, what are you going to do to better the lives of those people? You remember in 2021 when the Zuma marches, remember after Jacob Zuma was arrested, KZN bent down. They bent down the malls, they bent down the shopping complexes. Till today, those people lost their jobs and they're still sitting at home. And no one says anything about that. It's easy for these guys to encourage average South Africans to waste their lives for them. You remember how they bent down the malls, how they bent down the shopping complexes, and people lost their lives as a result of that. And they don't care about the fact that people lost their lives as a result of that. They don't care. They continue with another story. Like right now, when Malema is telling people to boycott Woolworths and McDonald's, he doesn't care about the fact that those shops are employing black people. He's not even going to employ those people, or he's not going to look for a job for those people. He's okay with those people losing their livelihoods for his political posture. It's nonsense. It's rubbish. Stop telling us about Israel and Palestine, man. What happens in Israel and Palestine? Nothing to do with us. We have enough problems in South Africa. We don't have borders in South Africa. Children are dying now. Children are dying now. Even in Free State, yesterday, 2 children died in Virginia after drinking the drink of pop that comes from these Somalis and the Pakistanis, guys. And you want to tell us about the Israel and Palestine conflict? Man, we don't care about that. It does nothing to us.
People of Palestine, the people of South Africa, the continent, African continent, to the world must know that the war-mongering colonial settler apartheid state that is waging the war in Palestine is not the biblical state of Israel, but a group of bloodthirsty, racist, and colonial invaders who are supported by the imperialist West, particularly the US, the UK, the Western Europe. Now, coming back to the statement by the Minister of Electricity on how load shedding will be reduced, it is not the first time that the political leaders from the ruling party have made commitments about load shedding, and there is still no believability and credibility in their statements. And it is not the first
Honorable
time in more than one.
Honorable Mkhwebane, please take your seat. Honorable members, I indicated that this is a maiden speech. And the gestures that you are showing there are not the gestures that we have in our rules. We don't have such. Honorable members, please. This house is too small for you to make such noise. Proceed, Honorable Mkhwebane.
In more than one occasion over the last 5 years, the president of the ANC has assured the people of South Africa that load shedding will be things of the past and things just got worse. At the beginning of this year, the Secretary General of the ruling party said load shedding will end before December 2023, and there are no scientific and engineering demonstrations and evidence and signs that load shedding will end under this government. Despite the many assurances given by this minister, who oddly does not have a dedicated committee to report to here in Parliament, load shedding will remain and will get worse as long as the ANC is still in power. The EFF's roadmap to electricity dependability, articulated by the CIC Julius Malema and Deputy President Floyd Shivambu.
Man, I don't want to hear anything about Floyd Shivambu, man. Floyd Shivambu needs to clear up his name there in the VBS. That's what he needs to do. You remember the Parliament Ethics Committee, man, they found him guilty of not declaring the money that he got from Zgameka, aka VBS. So don't say anything about Floyd Shivambu, man. Floyd Shivambu still has a case to answer to. And now you are telling us the EFF is the only party to solve this load shedding, man. Guys, I'm telling you, stop campaigning on load shedding. It is not going to matter. I don't know how many times must I say this, because the ANC is going to get load shedding under control for like 2 or 3 months before the elections, and everyone would have forgotten about load shedding. Stop campaigning on load shedding, man. Stop campaigning on this. It makes no sense. Stop campaigning on it. You are wasting your time and you are wasting your energy campaigning on load shedding, because this is what ANC does. They're going to get it under control for like 2 or 3 months. Then you won't have nothing to campaign with.
Are the only solutions that will end load shedding in South Africa?
Malema and Shivambu's solutions are the only solutions that are going to end the load shedding in South Africa. This is what we hear from the former public protector, now the fighter. This lady has been with the EFF for like 5 days, man, and she's already telling us that the EFF is the only party to solve our problems in South Africa. Impossible. The solutions of Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu are the only solutions to solve load shedding in South Africa. This is what Mkhwebane is saying. No one has solutions to solve this load shedding crisis. Only Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu out of 60 million in South Africa. 60 million people. Only 2 people have the solutions to solve our load shedding. Okay, Mkhwebane, we get you.
It is illusionary for anyone to think that and believe that you can end load shedding without securing base load electricity generation and supply, which in this instance is coal, nuclear, hydroelectricity, and conversion of gas into electricity. At the center of South Africa's electricity problem and crisis are the independent power producers who are imposed in our country by the imperialist West and forced into ESCOM without any rational and...
Did you guys notice the language of Mkhwebane recently, man? She's talking about the colonialists, she's talking about the apartheid. Man, you would never think that this lady was a public protector, man. And who wrote that speech? Just because you are the member of the EFF doesn't mean that you now have to use these crazy terms. Why can't you speak properly?
Sensible basis. We have to expose the hypocrisy of the West, who instruct us to close down our coal power stations when millions of tons of coal are leaving South Africa every day to go build and bolster Western and Eastern economic giants, creating ghost towns, perpetuating unemployment and poverty. We accept that electricity generation must not destroy the environment, but we cannot close down electricity generation without viable and concept-proven sources of electricity. Electricity that is harvested from the sun and wind is inherently and therefore not reliable. It can be used as off-grid solution, not as a long-term electricity solution for South Africa. That is why the proposal and submission of the EFF that a specialized conditional grant to assist municipalities off-grid solution must be given due consideration. The efforts of the EFF Inaugural in sourcing base load electricity on what can illuminate into BOT build operator transfer contracts is the best model that must be replicated the whole of South Africa. ESCOM must, as a matter of agency, seek to extend Quebec nuclear power license for an additional 20 years and...
Absolutely. We definitely...
It's so funny, man. Like, you joined the EFF for 2 days. And recently, and now you are talking about the...
We must consider a BOT model for additional nuclear energy, which remain the cheapest for electricity in South Africa. South Africa must accept that in the foreseeable future, there is no electricity solution that can exclude coal as a source of energy. If anything, we should invest in coal clean technologies. We, as the EFF, will, during the course of November 2023, finalize the action plan on what are we going to do when we take over government from May 2024 on.
The EFF is not going to take power in 2024, man. You can't jump from 10% to over 50%. It will never happen. Stop telling the people that you're going to win the elections. Stop telling the people that you're going to win the elections, man. The EFF is not going to win the elections in 2024. You guys think that you can jump from 10% to over 50? Honestly. But we know that it's campaigning, man. It's campaigning season.
We are aware that as part of the ruling party's election strategy for 2024, they will go around making empty promises and commitments on things they know they cannot deliver.
You are also making the promises. We don't know that you can deliver on all these promises that you are making. The EFF is also making the promises. All the parties are making promises.
The people of South Africa must know that it is not only the EFF working within the best interest of the country. We have black professionals in the energy sector who will end load shedding in South Africa. The rest of the political parties are just talking and electioneering.
You are also electioneering, Busisiwe Mkhwebane. You are doing the same thing. You are also electioneering. So why are you calling out people for electioneering when you are doing the same thing? You are doing the same thing. You are no different from the DA. You are no different from IFP. You are no different from all of these political parties. It's electioneering. You can't tell people to ignore other political parties and only focus on the EFF and what the EFF is saying. You're doing the same thing.
People are suffering, people are losing work, employment is high, businesses are destroyed because of this issue of electricity. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You know, Busisiwe Mkhwebane is talking about people are losing their jobs, people are unemployed and all of this stuff. Man, you don't say nothing. When Julius Malema says go out and boycott these shops that are employing black people, you say nothing. And for you to stand there to criticize the ruling party, man, Busisiwe Mkhwebane was fighting tooth and nail to remain in the ANC government. She was fighting tooth and nail. These guys are hypocrites. Politicians are hypocrites. Busisiwe Mkhwebane now, she's one of them. She's a hypocrite. You can't spend 2-3 years fighting Ramaphosa because Ramaphosa wants to kick you out. And now that you are out, you are telling people how bad Ramaphosa is. Or how bad the ANC is. You wanted to work for the ANC government. That's what you wanted. You wanted to serve under the ANC government. You wanted to serve under Cyril Ramaphosa. All of these things that you are saying right now, you didn't say any of these things when you were still the public protector. These guys are the same. Politicians are the same, man. Politicians are the same. Guys, I am convinced that in South Africa we have a lot of problems, but I don't think that politicians are going to bring us any solutions. Now I'm convinced that politicians are not going to bring us any solutions, man. Fighter Busisiwe Mkhwebane, you were fighting to remain within the ANC government. You were fighting for that. You went to court countless times because you wanted to remain an employee of the ANC government. And now you are telling us how bad the ANC government is. Man, if you were genuine about all these feelings that you are talking about towards President Ramaphosa, you would have resigned. You didn't resign. You enjoyed the benefits of working for the ANC government. You enjoyed the benefits of working for Ramaphosa. If you were genuine, you would have resigned. You would have told South Africans that I cannot keep working for the ANC government when they are doing these things to the people of South Africa. You didn't say that. You had to be pushed out. They had to impeach you for you to get out. And now you want us to believe that now the EFF is almighty and the ANC is trash. You were fighting to work for the ANC. You didn't resign, man. You should have resigned. You should have released a statement telling South Africans that, guys, what the ANC is doing to the people of South Africa right now, I don't like it. And as a result of that, I am going to resign as a public protector. You see now standing there on Parliament saying this nonsense, it would have made sense. But the fact that the ANC had to kick you out, they had to impeach you for you to get out, it shows that you wanted to work for the ANC government. You were okay with everything that the ANC government is doing. You were. You were. These guys are the same. Guys, please tell me what you think, man, on the comment section. And don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.